I'm so excited that you joined me here today. As I promised, I'm going to be going over 5 of my favorite sweet treat recipes. I'm going to be telling you why they work and how they work, and it's going to be life-changing for you. Everything I'm reviewing with you today it's actually a very simple formula, which involves understanding your insulin regulation, and once you have it, you will have this nailed down. It's crazy how simple it is. Bottom line, when you eat foods that raise your blood sugars, you raise your insulin levels, and you automatically go into a fat storing. This is a very misunderstood concept. Insulin is the king of all hormones for storing fat. And once you have this under control, it'll change your life forever. This is something that took me 20, probably more years to figure out. And once I figured it out, it has completely changed my life and so many countless other clients' lives. Be able to enjoy foods that for so long have been taboo because every time you even look at them, you gain weight. Well, it's a simple thing. And so here's a fact. I want to tell you a little bit about sugar and why foods that raise your blood sugars are so effective for storing fat. 4 grams of carbohydrate actually translates into 1 teaspoon of blood sugar. Crazy, right? To put that in perspective though, 2 slices of grain bread has 24 grams of carbohydrate, which is what? 6 teaspoons of blood sugar. Now that's just 2 slices of grain bread, okay? And you're thinking, well, that's a good carbohydrate to have. It's a carbohydrate that turns into sugar. Maybe a little slower than the cookie that you're gonna have right after, but nonetheless, you are going to be turning this into sugar. So let's start to think and eat like a skinny person. A skinny person's insulin doesn't go up and down, up and down. And so when your insulin is stable and your blood sugars are stable, you now have the ability to eat like a normal person without cravings, without bad food choices, because once you have this taken care of, all the bad food choices go by the wayside because now you are not at the beck and call of your cravings. In order to eat like a skinny person, there's just a couple things that need to be changed. 2 things actually, 2 ingredients: flour, white flour, whole wheat flour, sugars, agave, honey, brown sugar. All of these raise your blood sugars, and once again, when blood sugars go up, you're going into a fat storing. And you're kind of thinking, great, how is this stuff going to taste? I will tell you, you will be amazed. You will not even know or taste the difference, except you will not have cravings after you're finished. You can have 1 piece and you're done. When you understand that you are going to be able to regulate your insulin levels, the world will change for you. So a couple things that need to be changed are your flours and your sugar. Very, very simple. So when you change, I don't have a sample of my almond flour here, but when you change coconut flour, almond flour, hazelnut flour for white flour, for whole wheat flour, that simple change completely lowers your carbohydrate intake, and it still tastes like a baked good food. So the other thing that you're going to have to change, excuse me here, is the sweeteners that you're using. Sugar, agave, all of those will raise your blood sugars. These are plant-based sugars that have 0 effect on your blood sugars. And there's numerous brands. I definitely encourage you to go out there and try a couple. Everybody has their preference. I prefer the erythritol, excuse me, I'm making noise in the bag here. I prefer the erythritol, which is, okay, people go, oh my goodness, that's a sugar alcohol. Yes, it is, but it does not digest the same way as other sugar alcohols that tend to give you intestinal distress. So you get no side effects from this. But this is erythritol, which is plant-based. Erythritol is about 70% as sweet as sugar. So all I do is you put a cup of this and a cup of stevia glycerite. The 2 combined give a cup. I'm sorry, no, not a cup of this. This is 300 times as sweet as sugar. A teaspoon of this, and you put the 2 together, a cup of this and a teaspoon of this, and you have the equivalency of a cup of sugar. The reason I like to combine sweeteners is you actually get a better tasting product. But again, this is all trial and error for yourself. Now, there's a couple other sweeteners. One of them is called Just Like Sugar. There's a brown sugar version. There's a white sugar version. This is a very good product too. It is a little bit more expensive, and again, that is why I like this. I like the taste of this, and I also like that it's a little less expensive. There's another one called Swerve. The wonderful news is even Whole Foods is carrying erythritol. I think their brand is called Zero. I haven't tried it, but definitely give it a shot. You can go online and find many type of different brands, and you just find what you like. It's still, for me personally, I find going online is the easiest way to get all of this stuff, but the grocery stores are carrying it. I love the fact that Costco is carrying almond flour and coconut flour at a better price than you can get it online. It's convenient. So this is a very wonderful time we're living in, where we can actually have ingredients available and handy for us without having to search far and wide for them. So before I get started and review the recipes that I've chosen for you real quick, I just want to acknowledge the ones of you that love salty, savory snacks and treats. You are not forgotten, and you guys will be next. Also, just a real quick note, those of you who know me, you know how passionate I am, not only about losing weight, but also about the way that we can keep it off forever. The maintenance is, why lose weight when you can't keep it off? So there is a lot more information about this that you'll find down below on the video that I have written out for you. I just didn't want to overwhelm you right now, but I just wanted to let you know that it is there. So talking about the 5 sweet treat recipes that I figured out for you, this was really hard because there are so many wonderfully delicious ones. I kind of mixed up a couple of them. Some are just easy to make and some are a little gooey. So here we go. The first one is toasted coconut, cinnamon coconut chips. And pretty much you just mix some sweetener, some cinnamon, some butter, and you bake it, and you got some fantastic treats that you can take along for you and your kids. The second one, granola. Yeah, it doesn't really sound like a sweet treat, but it can be. We have this all the time available. Depends on how you it depends on what you add to it. You can add a bunch of sweetener and a bunch of cinnamon, and then you got kind of a sweet treat. You can pour some almond milk or regular milk on top, and you got cereal. A lot of people miss cereal, actually, if they think they can't have the regular cereal. Or if you like it saltier, you just put more salt and a little less sweetener. It's completely up to you, but it's a very, very versatile snack to have on hand. Now, this next one is my all-time favorite. It's called Raspberry Almond Cream Cheese Coffee Cake. I've already given this recipe to a lot of you, and I know you have had so much feedback. You guys love this one. I actually make it with blueberries because I always have blueberries on hand. But nonetheless, this is a gooey, wonderful recipe, and it takes a little, it's easy, but it just does take a little bit longer. I always make a double batch, put one in the freezer, always have one available. I'm just so excited for the ones that haven't tried this to go ahead and try this. Now, my husband's favorite one is creme brulee. Yeah, you heard right. You can even have creme brulee. It just means you're changing out a couple things, and you know what? You can't even tell the difference. So creme brulee, it's again a very simple one. Just to give you an idea, something like creme brulee, 2.5 grams of carbohydrates versus like 18 or 20 grams. And the same thing with granola, 2 grams of carbohydrates versus 20 plus grams for traditional granola. And my last and favorite one is everybody likes ice cream, and there's 100 different ice cream recipes. I just happen to really like the butter pecan ice cream recipe. Very easy to make. You can't even believe you're allowed to have this. And you can have it any time of the day that you want. Anyway, so these are just some of the recipes for you to enjoy. I would love for you guys to try them. Give me feedback. Let me know what you think. I have a lot more actually for you, but we'll start with these. And do look forward to my next video. I'm going to be talking about something that is going to take a little bit of brainwashing. It's the embedded fact in our brains that we cannot have fats. And our next video is on fats and some wonderful savory recipes for the guys out there who like the salty, savory snacks. So thank you for joining me today. It has been fun, and I sure look forward to seeing you in a few.